Departing Galveston, Texas, heading southeast over the Gulf toward a deepwater production facility in the East Breaks area. A tropical system, a hurricane, is moving toward the coast. Offshore personnel are being withdrawn while the conditions are still merely unpleasant rather than impossible. Our assignment is straightforward: reach the platform, collect the remaining crew, and return before the storm closes the route behind us. There are easier ways to reach an offshore platform. Most of them involve newer helicopters, better weather, and a company travel department willing to admit the trip is happening. Today we have none of those things. Our aircraft is a Bell UH-1H, the Huey, one of the most recognizable helicopters ever built, and a machine whose reputation was established long before anyone thought to use the word vintage as a compliment. Got a crew of 3 today, my co-pilot and our operations technician who's going to actually stay alone on the rig and weather the storm. I'm Blackbird Actual, and welcome to No Clearance. Galveston, Texas looks like a resort town from the air. It may not look like it now, but it's got beaches, hotels, cruise ships, and expensive buildings positioned directly in the path of future insurance claims. But the island carries one of the darkest weather stories in American history. In September 1900, a hurricane struck Galveston with a storm surge of roughly 15 feet. The island's highest natural ground was less than 9 feet above sea level. The water covered everything. At least 6,000 people were killed and possibly several thousand more. It remains the deadliest natural disaster in United States history. Once the coast disappears, the flight changes. Over land, a pilot has roads, buildings, fields, and all kinds of visual references. Over open water, the scenery becomes one enormous black void. With no moon and few surface lights, black sky and black water can merge into nothingness. The Gulf offers excellent scenery in any color you want, as long as that color is black. The lack of visual reference makes instrument discipline critical. A pilot's inner ear is extremely confident and occasionally completely wrong. Without a visible horizon, it can create the sensation that the aircraft is turning, climbing, or descending when it's not. There it is. A cluster of steel, lights, and machinery on an otherwise empty horizon. From this distance it looks small, but that's deceptive. An offshore production facility contains living quarters, kitchens, workshops, control rooms, electrical generation, water-making equipment, emergency systems. It's essentially an office, but with sharks. Landing on an offshore helideck contains hazards that don't exist at a normal airport. Cranes may be operating nearby. Exhaust can create turbulence or hot gas over the deck. Steel structures heat up and distort the airflow. The platform may even move beneath the aircraft. As the evacuation gets underway, we'll remain on the deck while the crew finishes securing the facility and prepares to leave. This gives us some time to look at what this place actually does. What comes out of an offshore well isn't finished oil ready to enter a fuel tank. It could be crude natural gas, produced water, sand, and other materials, whatever is deep underground. A maze of piping exists because fluids must be moved through different stages under carefully controlled pressure and temperature. The flame occasionally visible on a platform is called a flare. Flaring burns gas that cannot be safely captured or processed. The last of our crew has been loaded, but there's a problem. We have an injured worker. Details are limited, but he needs medical evaluation on shore, so that's going to change our return plan. Our original destination was going back to Galveston Airport, but we'll now proceed directly to the University of Texas Medical Branch in Galveston. A serious injury offshore creates an immediate transportation problem. The patient must first be stabilized, then somebody has to determine what's the safest option to get him back. Today, it's a helicopter. So lifting off the platform and turning northwest back toward Galveston, it's windier now. The helicopter is heavier now. A Huey's performance changes with weight, temperature, and altitude. More passengers and equipment means more power is required to hover and climb. Over open water, there's really no options for an emergency landing either. It's either make it back or don't. In an emergency situation like this, the temptation is to fly faster, descend sooner, or accept conditions that would normally be rejected. So it's really when discipline matters most, something that I sometimes lack. Miles of empty water, even Galveston's seawall and hotels look reassuring. Setting up for the hospital approach creates different challenges. Buildings can create shifting winds and mechanical turbulence. Rooftop structures limit approach paths and visibility, and the landing area may have obstacles that are less forgiving than open ground, so we've got to be positioned precisely. Power is stable, the approach is clear, wind is manageable. We bring the aircraft down slowly and set it down on the pad. With the patient offloaded, this mission is complete. The crew is ashore, the injured man is in medical care, and the platform, whatever ends up happening to it, can be rebuilt, repaired, or restarted whenever Mother Nature is finished making her point. This is Blackbird Actual, signing off. Mission complete. No clearance requested.